What happens when one of Hollywood's most respected actors sits down for what should be a routine morning show interview only to be blindsided by a host with a personal agenda? What you're about to witness is one of the most explosive confrontations in daytime television history. Civility collapses, reputations teeter, and the true nature of both guest and host is laid bare in front of millions. The set of The View was bathed in warm studio lights. Harrison Ford settled into the guest chair, his movements calm, practiced, and confident, a trait earned from decades of interviews. The morning had started like countless others. A film to promote, standard prep from his publicist, and the expectation of casual banter about career highlights and upcoming projects. Across from him sat Whoopi Goldberg. Her face offered a neutral expression as the theme music faded and polite applause filled the room. But when she began her introduction, something in her tone was off. It wasn't warm. It was sharp, almost adversarial. "So Harrison," she began, leaning forward, "I have to ask you something that's bothered me for years. You've made a career playing these heroic characters as symbols of American strength and integrity. But is that just acting? Or do you actually believe in those values?" Ford raised an eyebrow. "Not the typical icebreaker." "Well, Whoopi," he replied carefully, "any good actor tries to find something real in the characters they play. Whether it's Han Solo or Indiana Jones, you look for human truth even in the extraordinary." But Whoopi wasn't done. Her tone hardened. "That's the issue, though, isn't it? You get to be the hero, the good guy, while the rest of us deal with the consequences of what those stories teach. Don't you think it's problematic?" The white male savior narrative again and again. A hush fell over the audience. Ford kept his cool. "I think you're oversimplifying. These stories are about people trying to do the right thing in impossible situations. Not saviors, just characters making tough choices." "Still," Whoopi pressed on, "easy for you to say. You've benefited your whole career from a system that uplifts certain stories, your stories, and silences others." Ford's legendary patience began to show cracks. "I've always tried to tell stories that matter. I've never claimed to be perfect, but I've done my work with integrity and respect for the audience." Whoopi's voice rose. "Is it integrity to profit from roles that reinforce outdated power structures? To take jobs that perpetuate harmful stereotypes?" That hit Ford hard. For the first time, his calm faltered. "You're confusing entertainment with activism. My job is to tell stories, not deliver political manifestos." She scoffed. "How convenient. You've never had to worry about representation. People who look like you are always represented." Ford's jaw tightened. "I came here to discuss my work and not to be attacked. If you want to discuss the industry, representation, or the evolution of storytelling, I'm all in. But don't use me as a scapegoat for every problem in Hollywood." "Scapegoat?" Whoopi leaned back, eyes gleaming. "You think being questioned is an ambush? You're used to kid gloves. The minute someone challenges you, you cry foul." Now visibly tense, Ford's voice dropped lower, a tone that, on set, signaled serious business. "I've been scrutinized for over 50 years. But this isn't scrutiny. It's performance. You're not asking questions. You're accusing me, because you've benefited from privilege your entire career." She snapped. "You got your shot because you fit the mold. You got lucky." That word "lucky" broke something in Ford. "Lucky?" His voice rose, filled with suppressed rage. "I was a carpenter, Whoopi. I built cabinets to feed my family. I auditioned, I failed, I got back up. I worked for everything I have. Spare me the bootstrap speech," she mocked. "You were the right face at the right time. That's it." Ford's control finally snapped. 40 years of work, of preparation, of putting my body on the line for stunts. That's not privilege. That's craft. That's sacrifice. You've bought your own myth. She fired back. "You're not special. You're just another white man Hollywood handed the keys to." The words hung in the air like poison. Ford's voice dropped again, cold and quiet. "I came here with respect for you, for this show. But I see now that respect doesn't matter to you. Only conflict does." Whoopi laughed bitterly. "You want respect? Earn it. Stop coasting on nostalgia. Do something that actually helps people. Ford stood abruptly, his chair sliding back. The crew tensed. I don't have to sit here and be insulted, he said, unclipping his mic. Oh, now you're storming off, she shouted. This is exactly what I expected. He turned back to her, eyes like steel. I expected professionalism. What I got was a public execution. She smirked, but her voice faltered. I'm holding you accountable. No, he said. You're grandstanding. You're not looking for answers, so you're looking for a target. And today, that target was me. She rose too. Now they stood eye to eye. You don't get to come on my show and act like a victim. This isn't your personal courtroom, he shot back. This is supposed to be a place for conversation and not for vengeance. Don't you dare question my professionalism, she warned. These weren't hard questions, he snapped. Hard questions are about choices. This was character assassination. The other hosts remained silent. Producers gestured wildly off camera, but it was too late. The damage was done. You've lived in a bubble, Harrison, Whoopi said. You can't handle being told that maybe just maybe you're not as exceptional as you think. Ford stared her down. My mistake was thinking I was sitting across from a journalist. Turns out, I walked into a hit job. Silence. He turned to leave, then paused. You want to know what this is? This is dignity. It's knowing when a conversation becomes toxic. It's walking away with your self-respect intact. She shouted after him. You're just proving my point. He stopped one last time. I'm showing you the difference between cruelty and courage, between accountability and vengeance, between journalism and theater. And with that, he walked off the set. The studio fell silent. Whoopi, visibly shaken, tried to salvage her composure. Well, she muttered, I guess that tells us everything we need to know about Harrison Ford's character. But even she seemed to realize she'd gone too far. What was supposed to be a routine interview had become something else entirely, as something people would talk about for years. Not for what it said about Harrison Ford's films, but for what it revealed about the person asking the questions.